So today's video is going to be what I've read in March and April. So let's just get straight into it. First one I obviously read was what was at the end of my last one, which was Julie Andrews' memoir of her early years. This was such a good book. It took such a long time to read because that is kind of the size of the writing, and there's just a lot of writing on one page, and there's just pictures as well that come with it. It was a very nice book, and it was a good book, nice to read, and I enjoyed reading it. There's not much you can say about a biography. So, next one is just a really easy, casual read. It was A Home for Molly. Anna has been worried about feeling lonely on holiday with only her baby sister to play with, so she is delighted when she meets some new friends at the beach, and when a gorgeous puppy, Molly, joins in their games, it looks like this could be the best summer ever. It's been such a long time since Molly's had an owner, and then she meets Anna and she doesn't feel so alone anymore. But will Anna be able to give Molly the home she's been looking for? Yes. That's Molly's home. And I liked it. It was really nice. It was obviously sad because the dog doesn't have an owner. Though she wasn't abandoned, her owners she got lost, and her owners were in a rush and they didn't even need their phone number. The next one is My Mum, Tracy Beaker. I've done a video talking about Tracy Beaker, so I'm not going to go into it too much in depth in this video. It was a good book. It's quite a long book. It took me a while to read, but then again I had to grasp the concepts and that, so I talk more about it in my video called Let's Talk About Tracy Beaker, so I will have that on my channel by the time this video goes up. Next is a more recent one, and this is Lermy Snicket, Series of Unfortunate Events. I'm on chapter 3 currently. And there's a note on the back that's, Dear readers, I'm sorry to say that the book you are holding in your hands is extremely unpleasant. Tells an unhappy tale about 3 very unlucky children. And though they are charming and clever, the Baudelaire siblings lead lives filled with misery and war. From the very first page of the book, when the children are at the beach and receive the terrible news, continuing on through these unpleasant tales, but there's nothing stopping you from putting the book down once and reading something happy if you prefer that sort of thing. I thought it was a good book, to be honest. I thought it was really good. It was sad, I'm gonna admit, so if you don't like sad books, don't read it. This is my second time reading it, so it's a really good book, to be honest. And you always want to know, I always wanted to know what happens next, so it just hooked me reading it. It's not too hard of a read, it is quite an easy read, and there's 13 books in the series, so this one's favourite, and that was in the one I did this time last year. So this is Born to Run. The best mate being rescued is only the start of his adventures. From unwanted burden to favourite companion, and from pet to champion race dog. This remarkable greyhound proves that it's not just cats who have more than one life. Cats aside, kidnapping or living through rough streets, best mate can always survive, but will he find a real home? Yep, he does, with this man on his boat. And then he sees his old owner Patrick again. He has another dog, which does upset him. But he realises that he's got a companion now, so he is happy. So She starts out with Patrick and how he's on his way to school and he finds all these puppies, and how he rescues the puppies, takes them to school, and then they go to the rescue centre and he then adopts one of them and he calls it Best-Mate, and then they go to the park later than usual one evening and Best-Mate gets kidnapped, and then the champion race dog with Zona Becky, and then they run away from it, so that what happens to Alfie, where he ends up injured and ends up just being killed, and then Becky ends up in hospital because a dog bites her, and then Best-Mate finds Joe and they protest about keeping a nursing home open, and then they win the protest and they're off, and then he sees Patrick again. So sorry if this one is quite short, there's not many books, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books this time. Not read as many because they're quite long. The final one is Noel Fitzpatrick's book. I loved it. I loved hearing about it in the animals in more detail than we get on the Super Vet. It's just so nice hearing everything come from his angle. He even makes the most boring topic, in my opinion, seems so interesting. Like, he even talks about the royal wedding, which I didn't really care that much about, because not because I hate the royal family as such. I prefer the more no-nonsense royals in a way. But let's just not get into that. So, also you find out about his relationship with animals, and I'm on page 270, so it's a good book, and there's even pictures in there of some of the different animals, and like how he's on stage at the O2 Arena for the Super Vet tour, his animals, and then there's all other kinds of animals. It's just a really good book, if I'm honest. Like, the chapters are quite long, so it's quite a long read, but it is so good, and it's also how animals saved his own life, like what animals do for his life, and he talks about all his patients. There is also Super Vet is also a programme on TV. I think it's on Channel 4, More 4. So